Integration is a very important part of your process. After 1 or 2 nights of ceremony, we say that for 30 days, the medicine works with you very actively. Especially if you keep the diet, if you keep a good environment, if you keep the meditations and the prayers, the medicine is very active in your life because it's like you get a full packet download, right? And then it has to be unzipped. And this information that your soul captures at the speed of light, your ethereal body and mind need third dimension, fourth dimension, time and space to process it. So it takes a little longer. The expansion and the contraction of the container is very natural. It's something that happens to all of us. It certainly happens to me. And what I have found is that there's things that have to happen when we go home. First, we have to be willing to do what we call the other 50% of the work. If you come to a Yahe ceremony and you poop a little bit and you vomit a little bit and you have this heartwarming, soul-opening experience, but then you don't go home and do anything with it, then you really just spent the night pooping and vomiting and having a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart, which was great for 12 hours, but what about the rest of your life? So going home and doing the other 50%, as we call it, is very important. This 50% of integration and keeping that expansion has to do a lot with how you treat yourself first and foremost. The kind of love, forgiveness, acceptance, and compassion and gratitude you're willing to share with yourself. Then that same attitude, how are you willing to share it with the environment, with the earth around you? How are you willing to share that same attitude of love, acceptance, grace, compassion, and gratitude with other people around you? This is very important. There has to be a true transformation. Your actions and your words and your attitude determine a lot. Then we go into the concept of prayer and forgiveness. Some of us have had very light experiences in this life, and we really don't have a lot of baggage and we really don't have a lot of forgiveness to do. And some others do. Some other people have carried a heavier experience in this life. And so there's more forgiveness to be offered. So forgiveness is very important. The practice of forgiveness, every morning waking up and asking for forgiveness and giving forgiveness. The daily practice of gratitude is very important. Finding things that you're grateful for and expressing that gratitude. So one, we have attitude, action, that determines a lot. Then we have forgiveness and gratitude. That determines a lot. Then something else that determines a lot is the daily practice of meditation and prayer. And these are two different things. Meditation is important because it centers the mind, the body, and the soul into a single alignment. It brings us into awareness of the vibrating life force around us and within us. But prayer brings us to the feet of the Creator. Prayer is like you take a little bit of tea and you set it out and you just have a conversation, a dialogue with the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. So if you can do these things every day, if you can have an awareness of your actions and your attitudes, if you can have a daily practice of expressing forgiveness and gratitude, and if you can have a daily practice of meditation and prayer, then your vessel is going to continuously expand, even when it contracts a little bit, as it naturally has to at times. Because of that practice is there, because that discipline is there, it will contract. It's kind of like working out. And no matter how much of a world-class athlete you are, eventually you hit a plateau. And let's call that plateau the contraction. But because the discipline to work out is there and it's continuously there, eventually you break out of that plateau and you come into a whole nother set of expansion.